So the council tax for a Band D property is going to go up from £1,804 per year to £1,872 per year. That's an increase of £68 per year or £1.31 per week. And you can find the council tax for other housing bands on the council website. So we're having to increase council tax to deliver the services that our residents rely on at a time when government funding is still falling well short of what we need. The core council tax is going up by 1.8%. That's for the services for Richmond Borough, and that's £27 at Band D. Now we're doing everything we can to run the council as efficiently as possible without affecting the services that our residents receive, and there's over £4 million worth of benefits have gone into the budget for this year. But unfortunately, since 2010, our funding from the government has gone down by over £40 million per year, and the funding for special educational needs in particular still falls well short of what's needed. In fact, for us to deliver special educational needs education in Richmond, it's costing us £5 million per year more than we're getting from the government, and we're projecting that by the end of this financial year there will be a cumulative deficit of £15 million. We're also adding 2% to help fund adult social care services. Our population is ageing, and this means that we're having to manage to meet ever increasing and more complex care needs. And I'm afraid the government is still expecting local residents to contribute ever more to social care services, and a long-term sustainable solution for funding social care still doesn't seem to be in sight. Finally, the London Mayor, Sadiq Khan, is adding 3.6% or £12 at Band D for his share of council tax, and the Mayor's precept, as it's called, helps fund police and fire services in our area. So over half of the council's funding comes from the council tax that our residents pay directly, which means that we're really dependent on the money we raise in our own area. We do also keep a share of the business rates that are raised here, but although we're responsible for collecting the business rates, the actual rates themselves are set by central government. And then we raise some money from charging for our services, for example for parking, and we do still receive some government grants for specific services such as public health. Now the government has told us that it's going to be looking at the way that councils are funded, but we haven't seen the results of that work yet. And that's actually one of our key uncertainties for the future. Well, first, I want to reassure everyone that your council and your local MPs are fighting for a fairer funding settlement for Richmond that will last longer than just 1 year. That'll help us to plan our services and plan our spending properly for the future. Our key priority, of course, is to make sure that the services that we deliver, both that everybody uses, like bins or street cleaning, are delivered properly, but also the services that vulnerable people in our area absolutely depend on, like social services. We've made excellent progress on our manifesto commitments so far. We've made the borough's finances fairer for the worst off. We've launched our climate emergency strategy. We've introduced 20-mile-an-hour speed limits to make our roads safer. We've campaigned hard against the expansion of Heathrow. And we've progressed a lot of work on a vastly improved scheme for regenerating Twickenham Riverside. I was also delighted to have recently launched the new council charity, the Richmond upon Thames voluntary fund, which is going to allow residents to contribute to a fund that will help support the most vulnerable residents in our borough. The budget for the coming year supports our key initiatives. we're putting significant sums of money aside to deliver the Climate Emergency Action Plan. We're working hard to boost the supply of affordable housing projects in the borough. And we've also announced an additional £5 million worth of funding over the next 5 years for repairing our roads and our pavements. So we're putting extra money into waste collection to help improve the frequency with which we visit and empty the public recycling sites around the borough. We want to make sure that we encourage people to use these facilities, but it's also important that we keep our borough looking clean and tidy. We've also increased the budget to help support our town centres, and we hope that that might help to liven up the streets during some of the big events that are happening this year, like the European Football Championships and the Olympics. And finally, we've also confirmed a major new capital programme to help replace the street lighting in the borough and make sure that we roll out LED lighting, which is much more energy efficient.